All right, good afternoon, everybody. I am recovering from a mild panic attack. I lost internet right before the stream went live, about 60 seconds before, and have been in an absolute panic trying to get everything back up. So hopefully we are squared away, good to go, but we are a couple of minutes behind, so I'll move really quickly today to get us caught back up. If it's your first time tuning in, we started the challenge last week. My name is Peter Del Tondo, and I am your host for this 2-week challenge here with Adobe XD. We're going to be covering a lot of tips and tricks and cool things to help you guys build up a body of work and showcase all the cool things that you can do and help level up your design skills. So, as I take a deep breath, let's jump into some of the basics you guys need to know. If you haven't yet, make sure to join the Discord community group. And you can also do that by coming over here. And Tim can post this link as well, behance.net/challenge/XD. And that's where you're going to want to go each day. We'll refresh that real quick to get the up-to-date challenge file. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. And you can even go back and check out the challenges that we already completed last week. And if you scroll down further on the page, you can check out some of the past streams from myself and other awesome mentors, Howard, Andrea, Melody, Sam, and see what it is that we've been teaching. And anytime you guys have some free time, go check these out, level up, and keep always working and learning. So you can go over here, get started. We'll download that file and watch video. Will either take you to that day's live stream or to a stream in the past. And yes, Richard, deep breath. Hopefully I will start talking a little bit slower here in a minute, but my heart was just pounding there. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Looks like we've got Agatha, Richard, Stone, Tim, Maria, Hugo. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you all being here. So today we are going to be working on importing assets from Adobe Illustrator. We're going to do Adobe Photoshop in another day or two and show you guys how you can link those assets and bring them in, keep a lot of consistency. This is really helpful if you like to use multiple tools in your workflow, or if perhaps you're working with a larger team and maybe you've got some illustrators or glyph or icon designers that are creating assets for you. You guys can keep everything in the Creative Cloud library and ensure that you have consistency throughout your files, all while working in XD. So it's a really, really cool feature. Real quick as well, make sure that when you guys do join Discord that you can jump in here, check out, this is the channel to really live in, feedback and current challenge. And this is where you're going to post your work each day, whether that's a Behance project link, if you've uploaded your project there, or when you go to your Adobe XD file, you can click on share and share for review, and that'll generate a link that can then be shared out for myself, the other mentors, and the other community members to see your project and give you guys some feedback on that. So let's jump into what we're going to be doing today. All right, so as I take another breath, we're going to create a Chrome extension app that allows you to easily bookmark sites and manage them. So I don't know about you guys, but my bookmarks bar looks really busy, chaotic. I know I should be better, but I'm not. I just kind of bookmark things as I go, and there's no rhyme or reason. There's no organization to it. So it'd be great to use something like, real world product, might be something like Pocket, but something where I can organize the things that I'm bookmarking and favoriting and have some categories, see when I bookmark these things and get a little preview of it maybe. And that would help me understand what it is that I've got in my bank of bookmarks, and then be able to go reference those things really easily. So we are going to be doing that, and we're going to build out the screen, and we're going to bring in elements from Illustrator through Creative Cloud, and we're going to utilize those here in XD and show you how we keep that consistency. So let's check it out. And Israel, don't worry about being late with the challenges. These are one-off day-by-day challenges, so don't worry if you miss a day or anything. You can always go back and watch them later. Next week, I'll also be hosting the new series of challenges. It's going to be a 1-week special just before Adobe Max, and that will be a progressive challenge. So we are going to complete one project from start to finish that week, and that'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys tune in for that as well. So I won't go too much into detail on the inspiration files just because you guys can check this out. We're a little behind because of the technical difficulties. But take a look at these, some maybe information and layouts that might inspire you guys to utilize in your project. So we're going to come up here, and what I've done, I've already cataloged a lot of my assets, but I want to show you guys how this will work. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pull up my favorite icon tool. This is Nucleo icon. There's a link to it in that starter file. And I'm just going to grab an icon here. We see that this is a series of books. And I'm going to grab these and I'm going to drop this up top here to libraries. And I've got a library set up for this project. And I'm going to add that, and we can rename this to say books. Cool. So what that will do now is I can come over to Adobe XD, and now I can grab the icons. You can either come over here and go to OpenCC Libraries, or use the, at least on Windows, the shortcut is going to be Control-Shift-L, and that will pop up. And now you see that icon is right here. So it's really easy. What else is really cool about that is I can modify things to stay consistent. So if I want to change, say, the color of it or something like that, I can go in, I can make this, just make them red, kind of loud and obnoxious. We'll save that. And we should come back over here. We pull that up and boom, it's red. So it's a great way that your illustrators or your illustration team could be working on things, have that consistency. You can use this kind of like a design system and incorporate it everywhere in the application and really be able to swap stuff out easily. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to grab a couple of the assets that I've already created. I've got a logo over here that I want to utilize. I've got a couple of sections. So let's just quickly build these out. I'm going to use let's use Brandon Grotesque, another favorite font. Actually here, Brandon. And let's go to like bold. Okay, and over here on the side, I'm going to set up like a bookmarks bar. I'm going to say all bookmarks. And actually, before we do that, let's do a shape here. I'm going to send this arrange and go all the way to the back. We'll set this up something like this. Bring this in. This can shrink down a little bit. And I think something kind of along these lines will work really well for what I'm looking for. And for the moment, I'm just going to keep it like that. Let's actually make that, I feel like 800 is a good height usually to kind of simulate a fold experience. So let's get our assets here organized. So I've got all bookmarks. I want to have, let's say, articles. I want videos. I want tutorials. And let's say just something that's fun, games. All right, so I'm going to grab all of these assets. I'm going to anchor that to the side. I'm going to hit this icon right up here. And I'm going to actually center or all left aligned to that. And let's do something like this. I also want to move these over a little bit. I'm going to bring in some of these icons now. So for bookmarks, for example, I may want to come in here and let's grab this star. So give that a second to import over. We've got that star. Now I might look at this and go, I want this app to feel a little bit softer. Brandon Grotesque has a little bit of a soft edge and feel to it. This is too much. Now I have preloaded the icon that I do in fact want to use in this project, but something that I could do is I could come in here, I could say edit, and that'll pull that open here in Illustrator. And I can just grab it from here. I don't necessarily need to pull this over from my other tool. And let's just bring this in. We can center that up a little bit. Might be off a little, but that'll work for our purposes. All right, so now I've done that. I'm going to hit save. And now I'm going to come back. And that should have swapped. More technical difficulties today, I guess, but it should allow you to swap that information out, save it, and then have that be in the updated file. And I think that's what we're seeing right here. Why is that doing that funny? All right, we'll have to play with that some more. But what I'm going to come and do now is I'm going to grab all the icons that I want. And so we'll bring these over. I'm just going to bring them in really quickly. And let's see, we want articles. Let's say we'll do something. Whoops. We've got articles, and I want to have it where like the selected state is filled. The other ones perhaps are not yet. So I'll come in, let's do videos. We said tutorials, so I'll do this one here, and games, so I'll do this joystick. All right, so I've got these items. Let's see, let's pull these all into position. Games, videos, articles, and tutorials. All right, so I'm going to grab all these. I'm going to align this, pull that to 24 off the edge. Oops. Okay, and now let's just spread these items out a little bit. That looks pretty good, but we're going to give all this stuff a little bit more breathing room. Okay. All right, awesome. So we've got all of these. I'm going to bring this area over a little bit wider. Let's go +1, -2. Okay, so we've got a nice 24 on each side. I'm going to take that off, and we're going to set a background fill. I want to utilize this color, and I want to grab like a gray tone out of that. So I'm going to just bring this down here so it's slightly got that little tint to it. Okay, cool. So now I've got this over here. I've been able to pull all those items in from Illustrator. Really, really simple, really, really easy. And I can go in and again, I can, because these items are linked, I might say with this star, I want to come in here and I want to modify the color of that to match what we've got going on. Oops, let me grab that color. And back over here, we change that. We've got that nice purple color. We hit save. And we come back over to XD and it'll auto update those things. So really, really helpful, really quick and easy to be able to do that. And now let's set up a couple of cards, and we are going to go with using the repeat grid tool. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to create something like, take a look at this space. I want maybe 3 of these across. So what I'll actually do is I'm going to come up. I like that spacing of about 40. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to type -40 once again. And if I want to have 3 items here, I'm just going to divide this by 3. And then for spacing, I know that I need 2 margins in between. So if I want 40 between each, I'm going to want that by, let's do -20. And if I did my math right, we should get that. And I'm a little off, as I tend to be. So let's bring that down just a little bit more, and then that should work for today. Okay, so what we can then do is I'm going to set up a couple of things. I want to soften this up a little bit. I'm going to give this a nice edge. I want to give this a little bit of a shadow, and I think it'd be great to utilize this shadow color. I'm really going to soften that up. I'm going to bring that down to a 16% opacity. And then down here, I'm going to come down, bring this Y down to about, let's say 8. And I want this blur way up. Let's do like 40. And I might even bring this down further. I could, excuse me, bring that down to like 8. And you guys see how that's just super subtle. It's super soft, but it gives us a nice little, little pop off of the page. So with that, I'm going to come over next, and we'll just duplicate this. We'll turn off the shadow, and I'm going to bring over an area for an image. Okay. And so what I'm going to do next is let's take off the corners. So I want the bottom right and the top right to be flat. Okay. And I'll do something like that. That works. All right. And then let's get some text. So over here, we're going to want article title here. We're also going to want some things like maybe how long does this take to actually read? So it might be 5-minute read time. We'll bring that down a bit. We'll go 14. And let's bring that color down too. So let's say maybe a light gray. All right. And let's pull all this up a little bit. We're a little tall. Okay, so we've got our 5-minute read time. Our article title is here. I might have a description as well. So let's first bump this guy up. And I just want to create a little bit of hierarchy here with that. And then we're going to say, you know, this is a great article about something I learned and how it can help you. All right, so we're just going to make up a little bit of filler text. Let's make that regular. All right, so we've got some core components here, and we might want to say, like, where did this come from as well? So maybe we've got something like, this was a medium.com article. And then, oops, bring that down a little bit more. And then maybe we could say something like the date. So this was saved on, say, October 20th. All right. So we've kind of got our basis of a couple of things here. We've got some information that could be helpful to us. And you guys can play around with more of these. I'm just going to go kind of quick for purposes of overall styling here. All right. So we've got that. I'm going to come in now. I'm going to grab all of this. I'm going to group it. I'm going to hit repeat grid. And now really quickly, I'm going to drag out at least 3 of these. I'm going to pull these in so that way we've got our nice little space. And now it's putting a lot of extra space around this because of the shadow. So that's just something to note with your spacing. You just kind of have to eyeball it here a little bit, but we'll fine tune this in a moment. But now we come down and we've got everything. I'm going to ungroup this grid and I'm just going to delete these extras. And now what I can do is we can come in from our plugins area. We talked about this the other day. And we're going to go to plugins. I'm just going to select all of these images or these red boxes that I have set aside for images. I'm going to go to Photo Splash and maybe here we'll say graphic design. And in this, I'm going to pick some different things, utilize all of this stuff. I'm going to grab, that's coding. Let's call it there. So we're going to apply those photos and now, boom, all of a sudden it looks like I've got this fully fleshed out system of my bookmarks. Now I can come in, I can modify the text here. I would encourage you guys, again, don't use filler text, don't use lorem ipsum. Go in and create some fictional copy for each of these so that they feel really unique and they do fit, you know, whatever kind of narrative you're trying to say. It'll make this project feel real versus something that might be looked at as like a made-up case study. So those are really, really important things. A couple more items I'm going to want to do to kind of flush out this project is right here. I'm going to set this up. I want to send this and this. I'm going to arrange and I'm going to send to the back. All right, and now with this, let's go ahead and use that primary color that we've got. And I also want to soften this up. So maybe on the top right edges, I'll do 100. That's going to give this nice little like pill shape. I'll bring this in a little bit. And now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make these items white. Real quick, I'm just going to break this from the linked graphic just for a moment so that way I can come in and quickly for you guys change that. But now I've got a really nice little addition here. I might pull this out a little bit more, but I can see I'm on my All Bookmarks tab. And Agata, yeah, right now I'm using Photo Splash. That's one of my favorites. And you guys, you pause the video when you watch this afterwards, and you can check out some of these. I'll post a screenshot of what I'm using in the Discord channel after this as well. And then real quick, let's add some filtering. So I might come in here. Let's actually add this. We can just build on top of it. And I'll change this. We could even do a full pill there. And I might come in and I'm going to type most recent, or we could just say recent. Spell that correctly. Recent. And then I'd come in, I could grab an asset from Illustrator, or I'll pull one in direct from Nucleo here. And come here, you little bugger. All right. We come over here. I've got this. I'm going to set this to white. I'll bring you in a little bit. And boom, technical difficulties and all, we got it done. So this is what you want to kind of walk away from, is have something that as we look at this, I can filter through and select my different categories. We probably want to even add some stuff over here. So we might add perhaps like a little circle on the side. And maybe we do something where we add a plus icon, and we could do something cool here where like that's how you add a category, or that's how you add an item. And so all these kind of different things that you guys can play around and mess with. And as always, I want you to go beyond just kind of what you see in the immediate scope, and see what else could I do that would add and enhance this. And again, maybe this goes here, maybe this just lives underneath, and this is a smaller icon, and here it's add new category, and it just gives you the ability to keep stacking and adding on. So those are the kind of things that we want you guys to think through. UX design is really about thinking through the problems and the solutions and finding the easiest and simple path that the user might have and what they're trying to accomplish. So that's what I want you guys to take a look at, and be thinking through your designs, and ask questions in the Discord group when you're not sure. Ask early, ask often. Don't be afraid to ask questions. It's a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. And leverage the learnings and experiences from other people in order to come out with your best work. So unfortunately, because we had the technical difficulties today, I can't go long and do a couple of project reviews on stream. I'll keep those projects and we'll review those tomorrow. But make sure that you submit your project to the Discord channel, and myself, the other mentors, will make sure that we go in there and give you guys the feedback in there. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for sticking around through the technical difficulties and the late start time, and we'll see you all back here tomorrow.